Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So our group is the group 4 and we will be presenting on chapter 9 and 10. Chapter 9, PDR agreements,
Trade-off, government incentive,
and chapter 10.
target marketing, with the subtopic demarketing.
So we are
Anissa, Mazita,
Soleha,
Shira, Fatin Nadia,
Ashikin
and Fatin Amira.
and last but not least Shifa. Let's get started.
Oh yeah.
So we will continue from the other group, talking about purchase of development right agreement, PDR agreement. It sounds so complicated. What is that, Soleha?
Oh, I'm not even sure what is that, but let's discover.
Okay, so let's move to the subtopic of 9.5, Purchase of Development Rights Agreements, or PDR. Purchase of Development Rights, or PDR, is a voluntary program with the intent of permanently protecting a property, yet we are retaining the private ownership and management. For example, in this program, a landowner will sell the rights to develop a parcel of their land either to public agency, land trust, or unit of government, but still they are the owner of the land. However, in PDR, a conservation easement is needed. Conservation easement is basically the agreement between both developer and the owner of the land. So, conservation easement is needed for the developer and owner to be quite restricted in terms of their power. For the developer, conservation easement can protect the land from being abused by the overdevelopment. For example, let's say the owner said that the particular river in their land must not be touched from any kind of wastage. Then, the developer could not use the river to release any waste although it is already treated. For the owner, conservation easement can protect the land from being sold to someone else with different purpose other than for conservation. While the owner is restricted from having the right to develop the land, the owner still retains all other rights like use or sell it for purposes allowed in the easement. For example, let's say the land must be used as a farm as agreed in the easement. Then, the owner can only sell the land for the purpose of farming. The purchase of development rights is commonly used for farmland preservation and also natural resource protection. For farmland preservation, it can help to protect farmland and participating farmers. For example, cash will be given to the farmer in exchange for their right to develop the farmland, while the money can help the farmer to pay down debt, retirement investment, operational expenses, and etc. For natural resources protection, PDR can prevent the development on ecologically significant land such as critical wildlife habitat, water recharge, or water quality protection areas. So that's all from the first subtopic. Let's move to the second subtopic.
Oh yes, now I understand. So let's move to the trade-off now.
What is trade-off? It is also known as quid pro quo. The meaning of quid pro quo is a favor or advantage granted in return for something. The phrases with similar meanings with quid pro quo include favor for a favor, or give and take, tit for tat, or you scratch my back and I scratch yours. In this arrangement, in which the mutual interests of the relevant public and private sector are advanced through compromise agreements that deviate from the strict interpretations of existing regulations and other laws. For example, a developer might be allowed a higher than allowed density of construction in one area, which means this receiving area, presumably one that can cope with this higher density, in exchange for allowing another parcel, which is the sending area, presumably an environmentally sensitive site, to be set aside as a conservation easement. TDR is a voluntary incentive-based program that allows landowners to sell development rights from their land to a developer or other interested party who then can use this right to increase the density of developments at another designated locations. While the seller of development rights still owns the land and can continue using it, an easement is placed on the property that prevents further development. A TDR program protects land resources at the same time providing additional income to both the landowner and the holder of development rights. An advantage of the TDR over PDR is that no payment options are possible, since the developer recoups the loss of revenue from the conservation easements area through the higher revenue gains from the greater number of units allowed in the higher density area. Alternatively, the developer can pay for the higher density concessions in the receiving area, and the government can use this money to obtain conservation easement in the sending area. This can even be effected through a competitive bidding process if several developers are interested in the same receiving area site. The probability that TDR schemes will help to achieve the goal of environmental and financial sustainability is increased when government effectively delimits sending and receiving area between which the TDR exchange can be made. These are the common use of TDR. One of them is farmland protections. TDR programs are a way to permanently protect blocks of productive farmlands. Developers give farmers cash for their development rights. Farmers can use the money in any way they please, like pay down debt, start a retirement accounts, and pay operational expenses. The farmer still owns the land and retains the right to farm it. Well, another one is natural resource protection. A TDR program can provide a source of private money to purchase development rights on unique natural areas, critical habitats, and areas important for resource protection such as groundwater recharge areas.
TDR is different by offering the development rights for sale for the development elsewhere. It involves another location. Rather than purchase the development right, it just involves on that one particular area, meaning that the organization are preserving the area without trading with another area. That is the difference. TDR involves another location, whereby PDR does not. But both have the same intention on protecting and preserving that particular area.
Yes. What is the term used in formal arrangement for this nature?
Wow, this is a great question, Aziz. The term for the formal arrangements in this nature is called as TDR, the Transfer of Development Rights Arrangement. Miss Aziz, I think I've read through this. I heard that there is another one strategy in this trade-off. What is it called?
Oh, it's called mitigation strategy.
Oh, what's that?
Mitigation strategy is another type of trade-off. It is occurred when an agency agrees to make compensation for development-related damages incurred in one site. It is by engaging in environmental or cultural restoration at another site. Mitigation itself, meaning that a reduction in how harmful, unpleasant, or bad something is, or else to make crime seem less serious, or extreme circumstances. As for example, a place that has been applying mitigation strategy is Manassas Battlefield. Manassas Battlefield, known as Manassas National Battlefield Park, it is actually site of two major Civil War battles back then. A fund of 44 hectares of restoration to compensate for Book, which is wet and muddy ground due to the war that destroyed the construction of National Air and Space Museum. Visitors come nowadays to Manassas Battlefield to explore the historic terrain where men fought and died more than a century ago.
So that's all sharing from both of us. Now let's move to our colleague, Quiz Jiang. Next, I will talk about the last of chapter 9, which is government incentive. So, what is government incentive? Destination governments can facilitate destination sustainability by offering incentive to individual, company, and organization for adopting green practices that are not already strictly required. For example, capital gains and income tax deductions are provided by many U.S. states to landowners who donate land to the government, while inheritance taxes are commonly reduced for landowners who enter into PDR agreements. Since 1983, the state of North Carolina has provided a tax credit that allows landowners to deduct 25% of the fair market value of their conservation gift from the donor state income or estate taxes. Next, government incentive is something that motivates an individual to perform an action. The study of incentive structures is central to the study of all economic activities, both in terms of individual decision-making and in terms of cooperation and competition within a larger institutional structure. And how does government provide incentive? Government can offer financial assistance to private business making investment through the use of economic incentive. Incentive can include tax abatement, tax revenue sharing, grants, infrastructure assistance, no or low interest financing, free land, tax credits, and other financial resources. Chapter 9 has ended. Thank you for listening.
So, let's move to the next chapter, Visitor Management Strategies for Destination. Fatima Amira and I will explain about what is target marketing.
So, target marketing is an attempt to attract specified market segments that are believed to provide particular advantages for a product or destination. For instance, Bhutan. They are trying to cultivate a quality, high-end or upscale tourism sector by attracting relatively small numbers of high-expanding tourists who generate revenue flows. The primary sources for tourism in Bhutan are scenery and unique. 78% are mountains, birds, and Asian culture. They are controlling on numbers by government-regulated tourist tariffs and a set of administrative requirements, which is high value with low volume. They are also attract sensitive tourists who are willing to pay a premium for ecotourism credentials, where the price is set by the government is $250 per day and per person in order to preserve their environment.
So, I will explain about demarketing. Do you know what is demarketing is?
Next, let me explain about demarketing. What is actually demarketing? Demarketing was introduced in the early 1970s by Kotler and Levy, who define it as aspect of marketing that deals with discouraging customers in general or a certain class of customers in particular on a temporary or permanent basis. Why do we do demarketing? Some destinations do demarketing because of limited supply and excess demand, number of tourists over than carrying capacity, and also to keep destination environmentally and economically sustainable. Demarketing is evident in the tourism strategies, wherein mass tourists are actively discouraged at the same time as high-spending visitors are encouraged. Hence, demarketing can be regarded as the opposite of target marketing. Indirect demarketing strategies include reductions of overall promotions, price increases, and the elimination of products that attract the undesirable markets. Beaton and Benfield 2002 regard promotional effort as one of the most influential modes of demarketing, but one that has not been used widely by destination managers to elicit visits from some or all potential visitors group. Some examples of destinations that apply demarketing are Venice, Italy, Blue Mountain National Park in Australia, and also Paris in France.
That's all from us.
I will be conducting a game of word search for 9 questions. The rules of the game are: first, you need to identify the answers of the questions. Second, you need to find your answers in the word search section and mark it. Good luck.
That's all from us. Thank you.